Good morning, friends. We are learning our subject, that is Python for Data Science 3150713. And in that, we are learning Module 1, that is Overview of Python and Data Structure, right? For that, whatever programs we are learning, that we are learning through Google Collaboratory. I'll show you the use of Jupyter Notebook also. But just now we are learning with Google Collaboratory, right? So that's what file I am opening here. So here is our Google Collaboratory file. And that's what we have started with yesterday. Okay. You also have to make the same way for your practical and for your theory assignment. College logo should be there. Then after college name, subject, then whatever is your assignments that you will be writing letter. But here, what you will be writing is your, instead of my name for you students, you will be writing you to students name, right? So that's what you should consider. Now this print hello world, print variable value, then we can say take input from the user. All those things we have seen in the previous lecture. We can say type of a particular variable, that is class integer, class float, that also we have seen. See, I am saying you this so you can recall the thing what we have studied. Fine. For type conversion, that's what we wanted to started yesterday. In that, we can say print integer of 2.5. A little bit we have seen yesterday, but let me show you that. Typically, in other languages, what we are writing is, we are writing it like this. That is, in parentheses, we are writing integer, and after that, we are writing something like 2.5. Isn't it? Or otherwise, you may put that also in the parentheses. Right? This is what we used to use in our C or Java language, but this is Python, right? Here we'll be applying the type, particular type to a particular variable or value, that will be used something like we are using the function. That is, you can say integer is a function to us. So that function, and then after we are giving the value which will be converted to integer, right? As we are using integer here, this will be converted to integer. Let me run this. So it is connecting. Then after it will give us the output. Why it is so? Because this is Google Collaboratory. So it needs to connect to, once it is getting connected, now see, we can see that it is connected and now it is showing us RAM and disk. So now it is fine. It is giving us the output. Okay. So same way if you want to try for say integer of 2.3, that will also give us the output 2.3. You can say, ma'am, why are you showing this way? Here 2.5, so we can understand it. See, what I want to show is, suppose I am using it as this one, that is 2.7. What we are getting is integer part of it. You may have idea in your mind, like we'll be getting the floor value of it, or we can say the upper value of it, right? So that is not the case here. This is the integer value of whatever is passed to it, right? So now let us say that if we are taking the say integer of 3.9, it will give us 3 only. It will not give us 4, right? It will not give us 4, right? Say if we are taking float of 3, then it will give us the 3.0, right? Now, what if we are giving print integer of 75 in single quote? 75 in single quote means what? That is the string for us, right? What we are doing is we are converting that to integer, okay? If you put the mouse over here, it will show the help also. This is Google Collaboratory, right? Here it will show you the help of it. One example also is given here, fine? This is binary. It is given here, right? And then after you can say we are doing integer of this one, and you can say whatever is the base. Fine. So it will give us the output. Integer, how we use it, right? Okay. So here what we have given is we haven't provided any base, but we have just provided the string and we want to convert that to integer, right? Here what we are doing is we are providing ABCD. Now ABCD is a string. It is not 75 number. See, though it is string, this 75 is a string, but it can be converted to the number. It can be converted to the number, but ABCD cannot be converted to the number, right? So if we give that, it will give us the value error, right? It will give us the value error. Okay. Now, we were learning this parallelly, I mean the documentation or the basics, we were looking through the PDF file, and the programs we are running with the what? The Google Colaboratory, right? So let us see from here what we wanted to know. This input we want to know, right? This we have seen yesterday, how we print this. Fine, that is what we have seen. Input, how do we take the input? That is input. Then if we want to give the string, we are specifying the string. That is enter your age, right? This is what the example we have seen. Fine. Then after the basic elements, numbers, string, list, tuple, sets, dictionary. Once again, let me tell you the difference. List, then we can say tuple and sets. All are consisting of a number of values separated by comma. But list, that means in square bracket, tuple means in the parenthesis, and sets means in the curly braces, right? And what about dictionary? It is a set of key value pairs in curly braces, right? With the requirement that the keys are unique. We'll see that in detail, but as the basic or major types in Python, we should know that. Scalar is there, right? Which do not have the internal structure. So we can say integer, float, boolean, that is bool, none type, right? And none type is a special type. Non-scalar, that is objects having internal structure, and they are what we can say is string, list, tuples, sets, dictionaries, or user-defined classes, right? This is what we have seen. Fine. How to find the type of a number, that also we have seen. Just to recall, we can say we just have to write the type, and inside that we can specify the number, or you can say string or bool, and it will give us the type of it, right? It is required for us to know the type, right? Now, if we try for this, that is a plus 5, and if we have taken the input like this, we know that it will give us the string value. So if we do a plus 5, it will give us the error that must be string, not integer, isn't it? So what should we do is, we can modify that with the help of, say, integer of a plus 5, right? So what I meant to say is this type conversion which we have just seen, that is integer of whatever number we are giving, that will be converted to integer. But here, for example, integer inside that single quote, so string is there, and in that it is specified as 7.59. So that is the real number. So you can say real number can be converted to integer, but this is string, and inside that it is real number given, right? So it will give us the error, right? Let me show you that. Here, yeah, this example we have seen, right? Adding 5 to a, that is a plus 5, it will give us the error. Why it is giving us the error? Because for A is equal to input number, we can say we are giving it as, you can say 5, right? But it is string. So here when we are doing that, it gives us the error, right? So what should we do is we can modify that using integer of A. What is A? A is whatever we have taken as the input. Though we are giving the value as 5, we can say it is here in string, right? So what we need to do is we need to convert that to integer, and then after we have to do the plus 5. Okay. So if I run this, I can get it as integer of A, that is 5 we are getting, plus 5. So we'll be getting it as 10, right? This one, let me show you this running so you can have the idea. Integer of string 7.59. Let me show you that. Here we can add the cell in between. See here the code cells are there. We have already talked of text cell and code cell, right? So if I want to insert code cell, I just have to put my mouse here. So it will show me code and text. So I can click on code. So it will add the code cell for us. This is Google Colaboratory, right? Okay. So I want to have it as integer in single quotes 7.59. Okay. Now let me run this. It gives me value error, right? It gives me value error. If I give it as 7 in single quote, it runs fine. See, though it is string, but whatever value it should get, that must be integer, and only it will give us this way. If we have provided string, but you can say when we are having something like this, that is integer of say 7.5, there directly the value is given, that is a real number. This will be converted to integer, that is its integer part will be taken. But if it is given as string and here 7.5, then it will not convert that to integer part of this number, because it is not directly number, it is string. So have the difference. Here I have written integer of 7.5 in single quote, whereas here I have written integer of 7.5 without single quote. See the difference. Okay, here we are getting the integer part of it, whereas in this we are getting the error. Fine. So hope it is clear to you. Now, in the previous example, we have done what? We have taken the input, stored the value in A, and then after we have converted that to integer. Now, typically in C language, what we were having is, or in Java language, typically we are getting the integer value or float value or character value, right? Directly we are having that. So if we want to have something like scanf, %d, and any integer variable, so that if we want to do, here we can write it directly like this, that is A is equal to integer of whatever is the input, right? So let me run this. It is asking for number, right? Or it is asking for some input. Let me give wrong input, right? Let's say I'm giving it as 7.5. It gives me value error. Why? Because first of all, 7.5 is taken as string because it is input, right? And then after it is converting to integer. So this seems something like, we can say, integer of single quote 7.5, right? And as we have already seen, if it is something like this, it will give us the value error, right? Okay, so have the thing in your mind. Okay, so we can say we can have the comment here in the Python. We are writing the command with the help of hash and say similar code, right? So you can have the idea, right? I'm putting this also in comment. This is only for your explanation, right? Okay. And we can save it like control S we used to have for any other editor, right? So that you can do. Otherwise, it is automatic saving also, but better to save. So it is saved as we require, right? Now, so what should we do is, if we are having 7 more example, if we are having A is equal to 10 and B is equal to Ami. So what you can say is A is integer, B is Ami, but it is string. Now if we want to do A plus B, what should we do? We should convert this number to string, and then after we should add this to strings. That is, we should concatenate both the strings. So for that we can say C is equal to str of A plus B, right? And then after print C. If so, we will be getting the output as 10 AMI, right? 10 AMI, that is a concatenation of these two things. Getting it? Okay. Okay. So now we want to know about the formatted print. This we used to have in our C language, right? So same as that, if we want to have, what to do? Let us check it out. Percentage 5D and percentage 8.2F. So what we used to have is, say print art percentage 5D, then you can say price per unit, whatever tax we want to specify. Then after you can say percentage 8.2F, then percentage 453, right? 453. Then after we can say 59.058. Two values we are giving, right? Two values we are giving. Now, how it will be giving us the output in our Python language? See, you can see that this is print, right? It is not printf. That is, I am not showing you the syntax of C, but the way we were having it in C, we are checking it in the Python. Okay, so how we can write that is, whatever text you want to give, that is art or price per unit or whatsoever string you want to give, that you can give here. But what you can do is, this is percentage 5D. Second one is percentage 8.2F. That means we want to have two numbers. One is integer, second is float, isn't it? And how we can provide the value for that? That is double quotes over. After that, we need to provide the string modulo operator. That is percentage. And after that, in the parenthesis, we'll be giving two values. Why two values? Because here we have taken 5D, that is percentage 5D, and percentage 8.2F, right? So two values will be providing here. For first one, it will consider percentage 5D. For second, it will consider percentage 8.2F. So how they will represent? Let's see how we'll be able to see the output. Percentage 5D, that means total space allocated is 5. This we know in C also, right? As 5 is positive number. Which 5 is positive number? This percentage 5D. In that 5 is positive number. So the number is printed to the right hand side. You can say this is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Say 5 spaces are there because total allocated space is 5. But in that, we'll be able to see the number. Which number? That is this 453. So that will be written at the right hand side. This is at third position, fourth position and fifth position, right? So you can understand that. Now, what about 8.2F? That is the percentage we have provided. Total space is allocated is 8, from which 1 is for decimal point, 0.2F. So after decimal point, 2 spaces and other number will be printed in the 5 places. Number is printed from the right hand side. right? Total space allocated is 8 because here we have considered 8.2f, right? So 8, let me show you this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Now what to do is, as we have seen that 0.2f, that means for one is decimal digit and after that two decimal digits will be there. So for that, say from last 8, let us consider this is for first digit, second digit, that is after decimal point, and this decimal point, right? So these three things we have provided, fine. So what is our number? That was 59.058, right? So we can say 59, that will see a bit later, but dot 58,058 is there. Here it is printing 0.06. Some error is there? No, it is not error, right? It is rounding off, isn't it? It is rounding off. Fine. This is 0.058. We want to have only two digits. So when we know that after this 5, we are having the digit which is greater than or equal to 5, we'll be adding 1 in this digit. Isn't it? That is what is known to us. So here point and 0.6, right? And before that, we'll be having 59, that is 59.058 was there. So here it is directly taking it as 59, right? So it will take it as right hand side only because this 8.2f is positive, right? Let me show you with the negative, that is the negative percentage 5d. So what is that? Total space allocated is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then after, the number is printed to the left hand side because it is negative, right? Because it is negative. So if you are having the number that is 453, we can see it as at the position 1, 2, and 3. In the above case where it was 5D, we were able to get it as right hand side, that is 453, because this was positive. Now what we are having is, we are having the negative. So we'll be having at the left hand side, right? 453 at the position 1, 2, and 3, right? Okay, so what is the case if we are having negative 8.2f? Total space allocated is 8, from which 1 is for the decimal point, 0.2f. So after decimal point, 2 spaces and other number will be printed in 5 places, and the number is printed from left hand side, right? Okay. Now conversion, and what is the meaning of it? That is, if we are writing D or F, then what is the meaning? See, we are already aware because we all know what is this D, I, O in C language. The same thing is being applied here. So, but let us recall if you forget for that language, and at least for our new language, we should know that, right? So say D is signed integer decimal. I is also signed integer decimal. O is unsigned octal. U is obsolete, and we can say it is equivalent to D. It is signed decimal integer. X is unsigned hexadecimal. Capital X is unsigned hexadecimal. It is lowercase, uppercase, but its meaning is same. That is unsigned hexadecimal. Then after E is for exponential floating point format. Capital A is floating point exponential format, but that is in uppercase. Small f is floating point decimal format. Capital F is also the same. G is same as E, that is if exponent is greater than minus 4 or less than precision, F otherwise, right? G means same as E. What is E? Exponential. If the exponent is greater than minus 4 or less than precision, F otherwise. C is single character, accepts integer or single character string. Fine. R is string, converts any Python object using REPR. S is string, that is converts any Python object using str. Percentage, that means no argument is converted, resulted in a percentage character in the result, right? Now let us see the operators. We want to learn about different types of operators in Python. Okay. This concatenation we have seen, right? This was A is equal to 10, then this, right? Either we need to convert string to integer or integer to string. Both the way, both the should be in the same format to have the concatenation, or otherwise we can say addition, right? This formatting, whatever we have just now seen, let me run and show you the output. Okay, here you can see that, right? The space is being left, and then after we can see the other things. Fine. Okay, so now we want to know about the operators. Fine. So what we want to know? Operators. We want to learn what? Arithmetic operators, comparison, assignment, logical, bitwise, membership, identity. These operators we want to know in Python. Okay, let's see that. Arithmetic operators, they are plus, minus, multiplication. What is this? 2 division? So is it like 4 divided by 4 and again 4 divided by 4? No, it is not, sir. It is called integer division. That is, say if I do 4 divided by 3. 4 divided by 3, that means we expect something like 1 point something should be there. But it will give us the integer output only, right? So integer division it will give us. This is the division. This is the remainder operator. People used to say it as the modulo operator also. This is multiply. What is that? It is raised to, right? So 5 raised to 2. So that we can write it as 5, 2 multiplication sign, and then after 2. Okay. Then after comparison operator, equal, checking whether this is equal to this or not. Not equal. This variable is not equal to this variable. Greater than, variable 1 is greater than variable 2 or not. Less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, right? Then after assignment. For assignment, simple assignment, that means A is equal to 5. If we want to have the addition and then after the assignment, we can say it is A plus equal to 5, right? A minus equal to 5, A multiply equal to 5, A integer division is equal to A, division is equal to A, remainder is equal to A, raised to equal to, right? Okay. Then logical operators, and, or, not, right? Bitwise operators are and, or, then you can say exclusive or negation. This is negation, isn't it? Then after we can say left shift, right shift, isn't it? Okay. Then for membership we can say in and not in. Whether this particular number is there in the list, there in the dictionary, there in the tuple, there in the whatever is there or not. Fine. Identity. For identity, is and is not operators are there. Fine. So these are the operators available in the Python. Operators are used with variables or identifiers. Variable is named with digits, underscore, and numbers. Variable name must start with the letter underscore, or we can say letter. Fine. So the rules are already known to us for other languages. The same we are applying here. That is, valid identifier names are, say, area, radius phi, max underscore profit, fun. Invalid identifiers names are pi j, max, profit. Why? See, this is starting with digit first, so it is wrong. Here, max space profit, so it is wrong. Lab dot 7 dot is there, so it is wrong. Fine. Then certain names are reserved in Python which has special meaning and cannot be used in the identifier. Suppose class. Class is identifier in the Python, so you cannot use it as the variable name. Okay. Some reserved words are there like true, false, class, in, is, and and or import, return. Right? The language is case sensitive. So if we have written it as in a mix of, say, upper and lower characters, it is not equal to small letters, it is not equal to the capital letters. Right? So take care of giving the variable name properly. Choose a meaningful name for identifier. See, this is always required. People used to take it as, say, my name, Ami, is equal to 5. What does that mean? Instead of that, I could have taken it as radius r is equal to 5. So people can understand that we are taking the radius of a particular circle. Ami is equal to 5. That means what? That means what? Ami's height, Ami's width. What does that mean? Right? It does not have any meaning. So better to take the meaningful identifier name. Okay? Not too long names or not too short names should be used for the identifier. Only R if I am using, okay, it should be radius if it is for circle, but it is preferable if we are writing it as radius, right? So anyone can understand that. So not too long names or not too short names should be used, okay? So max is preferable over the maximum. Maximum is the full word, but it is not required to have the full word. With the max also we can understand. Okay, so try to have the meaningful identifier, right? Identifiers are unlimited in length, but style guide of Python, that is PEP8. What is the style guide of Python is PEP8. It limits all the lines to maximum of 79 characters, and that is why we'll also be having the variable name that way only. Fine. So let's see the operators. Arithmetic operators. Let me give a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 7. See, we know that, but let us run it once so we can have the idea. This is a plus b. So we are getting 5 plus 7 is 12. We can say a minus b. So 5 minus 7. A multiplied by b. That is giving us the 7 multiplied by 5. So 35. A divided by b. A divided by b. So 5 divided by 7. Okay, fine. Now what? I do not know what is A and what is B. You can say, ma'am, we have already done. We know that what is A and what is B. But after some time, you may forget, right? So better to give A. In coding, we used to write it as print. But only for printing the value in cell, you can get it this way. Otherwise, in the whole code that is in the program, we always need to write it as this way only, isn't it? But only if you want to see the value in the cells by running that particular cell in the mid. Oh, okay, I do not remember what is the value. So I can just put it in the cell as A and run that cell using control enter, or otherwise pressing this triangle button. So we can say we'll be getting the value. So A is 5, and what is the value of B is 7, right? A is 5 and B is 7. Now what we are doing is A by B. A by B. Let me do it this way. 5 by 7. Is it giving me any output? It is giving me 0.7142. Oh, it is same as this, isn't it? Because it is A by B. Okay, fine. Now see this way. If I am giving it as 25 divided by B, is it only divided by? No, it is having two slashes. That means we are having integer division, right? Take care of this. When it is only one slash, it is division. When it is having two slashes, it is integer division, right? So if I do here 25 divided by what was B, that was 7, right? 25 divided by 7, so 7 threes are 21 and 4 is remainder, right? So we are getting the answer as 3 because it is integer division. If I do it as 25 divided by B, what I'll be getting is 3.5714, but this is integer division, so whatever we are getting here in the division, we just have to consider the integer part of it, right? A remainder B. A remainder B. What is A? What is B? Whenever you think you do not remember, just have one cell above it and print it as A and B. Okay, not this way. Fine. So we can have the idea. Oh, what it is giving? A is 7 or B is 7? Don't know. Okay, no issue. Have it as this way. Fine. Okay. So, this we have to run again. A is 5 and B is 7, right? So we can remember. Okay, okay. A is 5, B is 7. Okay, now let me try for this. A is 5. 5 remainder is 7. So what we'll be getting is definitely 5, isn't it? Oh, this is A multiply B. So 2 times is it going to multiply? No, it is A raised to B, right? A is 5 and B is 7. So 5 raised to 7 it is giving us, right? So A raised to B, we can have it as A multiply B, right? For comparison operator, we can say A is less than B, true. A is less than or equal to B, that also is true. A greater than B is false. A greater than or equal to B, that also is false. A is equal to B, that also is false. A not equal to B is true, right? That is true. For assignment, whatever operators we have already listed and see, we are looking at the examples of them, right? This we know, but let us see it in Python, right? C is equal to A. So what is the value of C? That is 5. C plus equal to 5. So 5 plus 5 is 10 we should get. Then we can say C is 10 now. So 10 minus equal to 5. So we'll be getting it as 5. Then the value of C is 5 now. So 5 multiplied by equal to 5. So 5 into 5. So we'll be getting it as 25. Then C is 25. Yes, it is 25. Now C remainder equal to 6. We are getting it as 1. C divided by equal to 5. So we are getting it as 0.2. C multiply equal to 5. That means C raised to 5, right? So whatever is the answer we are getting here. Integer division and assignment. So we can say it is 2 slashes equal to 5. Means variable 2 slashes equal to 5. So we are getting it as 4, right? We can run this. We can have the idea. For logical, true and false, right? So we can say we can do the bitwise operations. So L1 is true, L2 is false. Now what we do is we are doing L1 and L2 and operator we have used here, right? Is it and operator that is for say bit and operation? No, it is not that. That is ampersand we can say. Uh, that bitwise operator is this one. Okay, this is not bitwise operation. This is, we can say that the condition is ANDed. So first condition, whatever is that is what is the answer, and the second condition, right? So based on that, if the both conditions are true, then only we'll be getting it as true. But here one is true, second is false, so we'll be getting it as false. What happened? Oh, this we haven't run, right? See, if I want to have L1 and L2, we should have this run, because then only this L1 and L2 will be there in effect. See, as I haven't run this, what it is giving me output? That is name error. L1 is not defined, right? So let me run this fast. Now if I run this, it is giving me output, right? So take care of it. Or, so L1 or L2 for not L1, right? Now for bitwise operations, yeah, say binary values are given, and then bitwise we want to do the AND operation, OR operation, exclusive OR operation, negation, shifting, right? So let us see them one by one. This is what is ending. Ending for end, we know that, right? So 0 and 0 is 0. 0 and 1 is 0. 1 and 1 only gives us 1, right? For an end operation. This is OR operation. For that 0 and 1 can be 1, right? This is exclusive. So 0 and 1 can only be 1, or 1 and 0 can only be 1. Otherwise it is 0. Okay. This is negation. Negation means 1 is there, so it will convert that to 0, and if 0 is there, it will be converted to 1, right? Then after, what we do is, let us do the shifting, right shifting, left shifting, right? We want to do that. What is B1? B1, I do not remember, isn't it? It is 25, right? It is 25. Now what we are doing is B1 2 greater than 2. So what we are getting is we are getting it as 6, right? We are getting it as 6. Okay. Again, for the same thing, what we are doing is reverse shifting, right? Reverse shifting. So we know that left shifting and right shifting, right? Identity operators. For that, we can say that, first of all, let us see the type of A. Is it identity operator? No, it is not identity operator. Identity operator is means say type is integer. integer or not, type is float or not. So is checking whether it is this or not. Is not is also there, right? Is and is not, they are the identity operators. So what we do is type of A is integer, right? We are checking it. So it will give us true or false. Type of A is not integer. So for that it is giving false, and for this it is giving true, right? Then membership operator, for that we can say, let's say we are having the list. List is comma separated values inside square bracket, isn't it? It is there in this square bracket. List. Now want to check 5 in list or not. 5 in L, 7 in L. So we are just checking whether 5 is there in the list, 7 is there in the list or not. So according to that, it is giving us true or false. Not in. So 5 not in L, 7 not in L, right? So reverse output will be getting, here it was true and false, here we'll be getting it as false and true, right? For conditional operators, we know that we can check for less than, greater than or equal to, right? Something like that. So say xy is equal to 5 comma 10. What is this? X comma y is equal to 5 comma 10. See, till now what we were having is x is equal to, not this, x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10. This we know, right? But what is this? This is new? Yes, it is the cool thing of Python. So instead of writing it this way, we can write it as x and y is equal to 5 comma 10. So first value will be assigned to x and second value will be assigned to y. So if we are writing this, x will be having the value as 5 and y will be having the value as 10. So what we are checking is if as is this, then do something, as do something, right? So for if and as, now here like other languages what we have learned till now, that is C, C++, Java, in that we used to have the braces to put something in the condition, right? That is we can say that the action for the condition, we used to have the braces, but here we have to use the proper indentation and the colon. Let me show you that this will do what? It will do x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10. This assignment will be there. Now, if no parentheses are there, if you want, you can put. No issue for that. If x is less than y, colon. This is must. Right? This is must. After that, this proper indentation is there. Then only it will work. Otherwise, it will give you error. Okay. So if x is less than y, colon is must, and say print x or any other operation you want to do, else again colon, then after print y. Right? This is what is required. Then you can say print whatever is there is minimum. Right? So what I do is run it. Okay, so 5 is the minimum. Now what I do is, instead of this, I'm writing it this way. Okay, if x is less than y, colon, and no indentation is given. Let me run this. Print x, indentation error, expected an indented block, right? It cannot be written here. We have to put the indentation properly. Otherwise, it will not work, right? If you want to find maximum of two numbers, what we used to do is x and y values we are giving together. Then after we are checking for if x is greater than y, print x, else print y. So for simple example, let us run it. Yeah, we are getting the output. Okay. Now, if we are having say x, y, and z we can take the three values as x comma y comma z, that is equal to three values. After that, if x is less than or equal to y, if x is less than or equal to z, print x, otherwise print z. And in else, what we'll be having is, if y is less than or equal to z, print y, else print z, right? Say x comma y comma z is equal to three values we are providing. We are giving x is less than or equal to y, z is x is less than or equal to z. Now here what we have done, that was if, inside that if else. For this first if, this else was there, and inside that we were having the if and else. Now what we are doing is, instead of that, we are writing two conditions, and instead of if else, we are using elif. So what we do is, if x is less than or equal to y and x is less than or equal to z, print x, and elif y is less than or equal to x and y is less than or equal to z, print y, else print z, right? So if we run this, now if this is the expression, what should be the output? You need to calculate and see yourself, okay? Then you can see what is the precedence of operators, which one is executed first, right? Now, point 1 into 3, what does that mean? We typically used to consider that it should be having the value as 0.3. In maths, we are having that, but in computer, it may not be that, right? So, what I am doing is, as I expect that 0.1 into 3 should be having 0.3 as the answer. So what I am doing is, first of all, I am printing that value, and then after checking whether x is equal to 0.3. If it is that, then let us print fly. Otherwise, let me print as slip. Okay, let me run this. The value is 0.3000 and at last 4. So is it 0.3? No, it is not. And so we are getting the output as slip. Okay. In maths, it is 0.3, but here it is not 0.3, isn't it? Because the computer is having different presentation, different representation of the number, right? So according to that, it can be 0.3 or it cannot be. Okay. Now what is here? If 5 is greater than 6 or 6 is greater than 5, it is normal, right? One condition is given or another condition is given. Colon is there. This is also fine. But here in double quotes, okay. What does that mean? Does that mean it is going to print okay? Else not okay. What does that mean? Is it going to print not okay? Let me run and show you. Is it giving me any output? No, it is not giving me any output. It will give me output only if I write it as print okay. But it is not giving me any error. That is also important. If I write it as this, that is print, this way. Oh, indentation. And we can see the output as okay. Output it will give only if it is written as print. But if I am not writing print and if I am having only okay and not okay, will it give me any output? It will not give me any output, but it is running successfully. It is not giving me any error, right? So take care of this. Now this 0.1 multiplied by 3, the same example, only thing is here the text is different, right? Here we have written y is not equal to 0.3. There we have written it as x is equal to 0.3. Same example is there, right? But there it was equal, here it is not equal. Here 0.5 into 2. 0.5 into 2, that means what? It should be 1, isn't it? So hi, I'm getting. Okay, fine. So the assignment operator and all the expressions we have seen, that is less than, greater than, equal, not equal, then we can say logical operators, they are the and or not. That also we have seen with the example. Precedence of operators, yes, this is what I have shown you only with the one example, but let me tell you a bit more. That is, parenthesis is having higher precedence, unary operators plus and minus is having next higher precedence. Then as we grow from top to bottom in the table, operator precedence is increasing. Here, right? This way it is given. This is low, this is high. Okay? So plus minus greatest precedence. This is less, 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 less. Right? The precedence is given. Here is low, here is high. Okay? Then we can say one more table is there. That also the precedences mentioned. You can see it letter, and then after you can try few examples for that. Okay, the whole table is there. You can see, and this example we have seen while running that using the modular operator and control statements in that. At least if else we have seen using the example, right? Using the example, we have seen that, isn't it? This is what we have seen. Fine. Loops will see letter. That's all for today. Yeah, here is stop recording.